Hi everyone, I'm Alister Benn and you're watching Expressive Photography. Slightly different video this week after months and months of vlogging and Vision and Light interviews. Different video today because I'm selling you something, or hoping to anyway. Dodging and burning. I have a new dodging and burning masterclass out, and instead of it just being a menu of techniques and this is how you do everything type videos, it does show all those things, but it is more about the how and the why. If we don't know how to implement the tool, if we don't know how to look at our photographs and instinctively understand where we should be dodging and burning, then every tool in the world is not going to help. So I'm going to try and convince you why you should be investing your hard-earned dollars or pounds or yen or pesetas, if they even exist anymore, into my Expressive Photography Dodging and Burning Masterclass. Let's dive into this photograph here. Now, this is a big landscape from Huangshan on the eastern Chinese mountains of the Yellow Mountains, basically. And this is a scene that has depth, it has directionality of light, it has natural depth because we have a lot of diffusion in the back there and a lot of detail in the front. Dodging and burning is the darkroom technique, which has been around pretty much since darkrooms were invented. And the concept is to dodge, which is to lighten, and typically that is used to show more shadow detail, and to burn, which is used generally to bring down highlights to show more highlight detail. Now, obviously, this is a darkroom technique, or it was historically a film technique. In the realm of digital photography now, we have such amazing possibilities with our raw files, and the dynamic range that's in these raw files is massive. But the skill set remains, is that if you don't know where to dodge and burn, the techniques that we use are kind of immaterial. So what I want to talk about in this photograph are some of the fundamentals. Historically, dodging and burning was about darkening and lightening. Now we can dodge and burn with any attribute: detail, texture, atmosphere, color, hue, saturation, and of course exposure. We can dodge and burn with shadows, with highlights, with blacks, with whites. We've got any parameter that we can think of, we can dodge and burn with it. And even just in Lightroom, we've got this amazingly powerful skill set. This photograph hasn't had any global adjustments made to it at all, and if I want to make it feel more sunsetty and joyful, I can perhaps warm the temperature slightly. Now, that is a global adjustment, but I can make it a local adjustment by saying, right, well, I'm going to darken some of my warmer tones. And so now you can see those brighter areas. I can brighten them, and that is basically dodging, or I can darken them slightly, and that is burning, but that's also going to increase the saturation of them. So we can, even in this basic side, there are local adjustments in the global adjustments, if that makes sense. I can create more contrast in the colors by using my camera calibration slider. And what I want to demonstrate is how simply, just with a couple of gradients, and I've got one for the sky here and one for the foreground. With the foreground one selected, if I add texture or clarity, that has the effect of bringing everything forward. Now, this is dodging and burning. This is changing the tonal relationships in the photograph, and the effect of that is to create more three-dimensionality. Three-dimensionality is such a massive part of dodging and burning. By bringing that foreground forward, we're making it feel closer, more tactile. And the effect of that also is the background feels like it's receding slightly. If I do the opposite and take off clarity and detail, then the foreground gets a little bit wishy-washy and boring, and we lose some of that sense of three-dimensionality. So understanding that foregrounds tend to, or will have more detail than backgrounds is a fundamental part of dodging and burning. If I take the top gradient, I'll hit the O key to show where that's being affected. If I do something stupid like massively increase the contrast at the back, this sky no longer looks like it belongs with that foreground. We've crossed a line of believability that doesn't visually work. And this is a huge part of the course, is understanding what the world looks like, how to assess where we're going to dodge and burn, how to assess what is the most effective thing to do. So I want skies to look and feel like skies. So clouds aren't gritty and contrasty like that, not with that sense of light anyway. So it's a case of dialing in something in the sky that looks, and I can make it a bit more sunsetty like that. So that's now got a feeling to it that is distant and diffused and airy. It's always going to be a balance between impact and accuracy. I would rather have accurate photographs, I think, in terms of big landscapes anyway, rather than photographs that are too just impactful for the sake of being impactful. And, you know, we can find that point where the sky, the mood of the sky fits how we want the photograph to come together. Now the foreground here now looks a bit too joyful, so I'm just going to darken things down and then add a bit of contrast in there. So now we're producing a photograph just with these two gradients that changes the character of the image so dramatically, from where we brought it into Lightroom and how it looks globally through to something that's now more expressive, because we're making it feel more rugged, we're making it feel more moody and dramatic. So we're using dodging and burning, using very simple tools to change the feel or to enhance the feel to express something specifically about this photograph. The whole course is over 7 hours long and covers the most basic tools in Lightroom in an evolving story of impact and articulation and expression and creativity. It's in 3 parts. It's in Lightroom and Adobe Camera Raw, and then into Photoshop. And then I've also included bonus material, which is the 4 history brush videos that I posted on YouTube about just over a year ago. And I want to make those available to people who are buying the course, because they were very, very important at the time. The key thing about dodging and burning is to understand where light belongs. We can see here there's a beam of light coming down, so we know where the sun is in this frame. And people ignore this when they dodge and burn, and they do bizarre things for visual effect. They say, okay, let's get some beautiful, warm, glowy light. I'll dial this back in a moment, don't worry. They'll grab a bunch of light like that, and just, because we see people doing this in videos, you know, how to make your landscape photography more dramatic. And they do this sort of light bleed technique, and the key is to understand where it belongs. So yeah, for dramatic effect, throwing a bunch of that glowy light onto the photograph, initially think, oh, well, that's kind of cool, that's quite impressive. And then you see this God beam over on the left-hand side, and it just doesn't compute. So we can't do that. We can't put that adjustment in there, because it basically, it doesn't meet the laws of physics. So we have to be mindful about where we can do certain things. What else can I tell you about this course? Like I said, over 7 hours long. It's a 7 gigabyte download. It's 30 videos in total. And like I said, I cover from the most basic tools right through into Photoshop and look at some of the traditional methods that we used for dodging and burning, including the grey layer, transparent layer, which is more the sort of, that's probably still the standard way of doing things. And of course, the way I do things now, which is with the history brush in conjunction with Tony Kuiper's Luminosity Masks, and in many cases, the LAB color space. All of that is going to be included in this video series, or is included in this video series. Like I said, a very different video this week. The intention is to just bring to mind shopping for techniques is the same as learning new words out of the dictionary. They're very useful to you if you know where to use them in a sentence. Techniques are just ways to express. Techniques are just ways to articulate. If we just randomly throw in things that don't make any sense, like grabbing another adjustment brush and pulling in some warm light somewhere and just randomly bringing up an area of the frame that we think we might like to be brighter, it has to make sense in terms of where the direction of the light is. These are all the things that we're going to be covering in this course. Not a particularly long video this week. Like I said, I'd love you to check this course out. There's a link underneath there for you. If you're a member of the subscription channel, the members channel, the Expressive Photographers tier, then there is a 25% discount off this, which is less than a month's, more than a month's subscription. So that may be something that you might consider, is that you can save a bit of money by joining the membership channel. And I'm sure you'll get a lot of value out of it. We do have a 30-day money-back guarantee if you don't feel that this is going to change your photography. What I would strongly suggest to you is the amount of money we spend on cameras, equipment, tripod, filters, travel to various locations to go and make photographs. I can guarantee you that this, along with the Luminosity and Contrast ebook and the Color of Meaning ebook, will give you more bang for your buck in terms of developing yourself as a creative landscape photographer than buying a new filter will. So I'm going to stick my neck on the line and say, I do truly believe this is going to be the paradigm shift in your photography that you're looking for. And I look forward to hearing your feedback, and I really hope you enjoy the course. Thanks very much for watching. Normal service will resume next Sunday. We'll be back out in the field with an icy river that I photographed a few weeks ago when we still had the cold weather. And yeah, I hope you find some value out of this course, and I look forward to speaking to you again in the near future. Thanks for tuning in. Now click that link. Thanks now. Bye.